Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about astrological or zodiac sign compatibility between Taurus and Pisces. And yes, it does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant for both signs. Now, the thing about this is, okay, they are two signs apart. They are sextile by sign, and therefore they are compatible. Now, both signs incline toward introversion and maybe even introspection. They're really, Pisces likes to kind of retreat into their own world and their seclusion, their solitude, whether it might be fiction or fantasy, books or video games or whatever it might be. They often may like to do that. And then you look at Taurus, and Taurus can be very enamored with domestic interests and things at home, and they like to stay at home generally. So you have that commonality with these two signs. Now, the thing about this, though, is you have the fact that they're both feminine introverted signs. But in certain ways, they can be a little bit different. Now, you look at Taurus being an earth sign. Well, Taurus can be very pragmatic and practical and appreciates tangible assets. Well, you look at Pisces. Pisces really, they don't necessarily have an aversion to material items because pretty much everybody has some kind of material items, but there's not as much emphasis on this as opposed to Taurus. Taurus may be able to help Pisces in terms of like balancing their budget and just being more realistic as far as maybe from a monetary standpoint. They could ground Pisces to some degree. And also Pisces can be somewhat of a dreamer, and they may fantasize about certain things but not always act upon it. Well, Taurus can help give a little, I don't know, let's say structure to the dreams, or may find a way to make use of them where they can come to fruition, and making sure that they are realistic dreams at the same time. Now, Pisces can help Taurus in the sense that Pisces can be rather idealistic, and they could help Taurus kind of shoot a little bit higher in terms of what maybe their goals are, and things that maybe Taurus might not always think are attainable due to their sometimes ultra prudent and conservative nature. Pisces can help them attain. You got to remember that Pisces is ruled by Neptune and Jupiter. Neptune with dreams, and then you have the Jupiter with the buoyancy, like with the little, that expansive side. So they can really help Taurus out in this respect. Now, the thing too is when you look at this combination, that you have to remember that they are compatible, and as far as from, like, I guess you could say, if it is a sexual relationship between the two, well, Taurus, as you know, stated previously, can be very sensual and demonstrative and real very loving. It is ruled by Venus. Now, and this could really be what Pisces, is kind of looking for, because Pisces can be looking for that idealist, that prototypical type lover that will be there for Pisces, that could be very loyal and steadfast and to the end. And Taurus can admire and appreciate the very compassionate and sensitive nature of Pisces in the bedroom. And I think what really this is just a very good combination in every ways, whether it would be platonic or whether it would be romantic, sexual type relationship. And I think another thing to consider, though, is that with Pisces being a water sign, is that Pisces can get rather hurt very easily. Emotions can sometimes, I believe, be nearly all embracing for Pisces. And the Taurus could sometimes be direct and straightforward, though maybe not malicious. What happens is sometimes the directness of Taurus might send Pisces send them away for a little bit, and Pisces might go into their little, I guess, isolation mode or something. So Taurus may need to be careful with this. But the thing is, though, both signs are generally passive. Neither one are about confrontation, and they just really, Taurus likes to be at peace. They like tranquility and peace. And in Pisces at home, I see them as, because they are passive. Pisces is a passive sign. They don't like to have quarrels, in disputes with others. They don't like anybody acerbic or somebody that might be disputatious, because they can have an aversion to arguments and anything that might lead to confrontation. So I think this is what helps make this a very good combination for the two. And Taurus may need also to be careful being a fixed sign. It might be sometimes domineering, and really Pisces, even though they are passive, that Taurus may come across a little bit controlling for the Pisces. And also it's important to remember Taurus is a little bit, I think, a little bit more kind of self-protective as opposed to Pisces. And Pisces is about a little bit more selflessness on average, I think, as opposed to Taurus and being more philanthropic and charitable. Taurus can be generous at times with the right people, but I think Pisces a little more so. So you might have a little disparity here that might be where, people, they could find maybe some common ground as far as these two things go for these two people, reach a happy medium or something. But anyway, it's also important to look at the aspect, if any, that is made between these people with these two energies, as this could indicate how these energies may integrate well or not as well, or they might integrate better or even not as well as otherwise indicated. Now, in many cases, you will have a sextile aspect take place between the energies with these people. Let's say, for example, someone has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Taurus at 15 degrees, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Pisces at 12 degrees. That could be positive and auspicious, and this could even accentuate and enhance an already positive compatibility that exists between these two people by sign. Now, you could also have a minor aspect take place between these people with these energies. Let's say you could have a semi-sextile aspect take place. Let's say, for example, one person has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Taurus at 0 degrees, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Pisces at 29 degrees. I call this slightly positive or slightly auspicious because it is like the sextile, but it's not as strong because it is a minor aspect, and it could still help this flowing energy even more so than otherwise indicated. Remember, they are sextile by sign to begin with, so they are compatible by sign anyway. Now, you could also have an out of sign square aspect take place between the energies with these people. Now, let's say, for example, someone has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Taurus at 28 degrees, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Pisces at 1 degree. Well, this could be adverse or adversarial, and it might indicate a little bit more of a challenge and conflict than otherwise indicated. However, they are still compatible by sign, so you do have that, so you got to factor that into the equation as well. Now, you could also have a minor adverse aspect take place between the energies with these people. Let's say that someone has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Taurus at 4 degrees, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Pisces at 19 degrees. I would call this slightly adverse or slightly adversarial because it's a minor aspect, but it is negative, and you might have a little bit more disparity, a little bit more difference and conflict than otherwise indicated. However, as I stated before, they are compatible by sign, being 2 signs away, sextile by sign. So you do have that positive blending to begin with, so you got to factor that into the equation as well. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for astrological or zodiac sign compatibility between Taurus and Pisces, and stay tuned next time where I'll be talking about astrological or zodiac sign compatibility between Gemini and another Gemini. 2 things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.